All right, let's see. All right, we're still setting up a bit. Right, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. We're going to wait for a couple more people to get on. I'm still setting up. I had a reading a little bit before this, so give me a second. Well, I give y'all a second. Everyone, we have a second. Okay. Hello. Hello from Prosecco. I wish. Okay, let's see. I had to put up the what do you call it? The card here, because I've had my same tarot deck since I was like 18 years old, and I'm literally missing hello, I'm literally missing some cards, so I had to put it up here. But actually, I think it's kind of good. So I guess we have enough people. I can get started. Hello, how are you doing? So today we are going to talk about the High Priestess. This is the second. This is number 2. It's a third card and number 2 in the tarot. So we went from the Fool to the Magician to the High Priestess. So, as you can kind of tell, she is a feminine figure. She is someone who is sitting on her throne, nestled between 2 pillars. I think Boaz and Joaquin pillars. And those represent strength and beauty. At the top of her crown, she has this sort of like circle here. The clarity of thought, the clarity of consciousness is kind of sitting here, resting here. And in her heart, she has a cross. And that's sort of like, the symbol, for a lot of people, that's a sacred symbol. So it's a symbol of the sacred. And you still have in the background, like nature in the back of her, but it's actually really different. Let me move. Is it possible to move my, okay, I guess that's not possible. I was trying to move my picture so I could see the rest of the card. But anyway, and she has nature, she has fruit sort of behind her. I think at the bottom, I want to say that because it's a little like hard to see, but at the bottom, I think she has it looks like a crescent moon there, and so her connection also to the changing of the tides, So there she is, nestled on her throne. Now, how do we utilize this? What's the meditation behind it? Well, first of all, when I was in I want to say probably my early 20s, I had this idea that kind of came to me, which was, I was really tired of sort of what you consider sort of frivolous interactions with people, and especially men. And I realized that if people can't perceive themselves as divine, if people don't perceive their own divinity, their own sacredness, if they don't perceive their own strength, if they also, can't perceive their own beauty, well, it's going to be very hard for them to perceive that in anybody else, to perceive that in you, to hold you as being sacred, to hold you, as if there's something, as if you're something that is really beautiful within their lives. And we're not talking about physical beauty. We're talking about that sort of transcendent beauty. The reason why, some women who maybe don't look like they have everything together or are seen as like the most beautiful women in the world, they're just in themselves. They're just divinely connected to that thing that they are, and it's not about a physical thing. It's about a spiritual, emotional. It's like, it reminds me of the poem from Maya Angelou, Phenomenal Woman. In fact, I think this is probably a good moment to insert that here. Let's go back to the Miss Maya Angelou, because I think that really kind of speaks of this high priestess energy. So I'm going to just give me a second to just pull that up. Phenomenal Woman. I don't know if you've heard the poem, but we're gonna read it. Let's see. Phenomenal Woman. Also, I broke my little stand thing, so I'm gonna talk like this to you guys. Sorry. But poem. Okay, here we go. So this is the poem Phenomenal Woman that I think very much speaks to that sort of energy of, of the high priestess, who is who she is, no matter what the circumstances or what other people perceive about her. She's really standing in her power. She's sitting upon her throne. And okay, let's open this up. How do you open this up? All right. Here we go. Phenomenal Woman by Maya Angelou. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I am a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellows stand or fall to their knees. They swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, the joy in my feet. I am a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say it's in the arch of my back, the sun in my smile, the ride in my breast, the grace of my style. I am a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, I ought to make you proud. I say it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care, 'cause I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. So, I mean, I didn't really know that was actually going to be such a kind of profound poem in regards to the high priestess, but that's exactly what it is. It is the mystery of the feminine. It is the high priestess is the companion to the Hierophant. And so in terms of Gnosticism, it would be, I think I mentioned this last week, it would be the God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, or God Holy Sophia. So it's Father, Son, Holy Sophia. And Holy Sophia is the wisdom of God. She's the wisdom of God. And she is a part of that Trinity. And without her in that Trinity, the whole concept of the divine doesn't exist. All of those things have to exist in unison and with equal importance. And so here you have, like I said, you have the high priestess, and she, with the thing on her crown, she represents that wisdom of God, that gnosis, the knowing. And as far as kind of the practical application of how you can kind of take her in a meditative way, is to figure out, what does it mean for me to stay on my throne? What does it mean for me to not come off of my throne for other people? What is the mystery of being me in this incarnation as a feminine woman, with all of my emotions, with all of my desires, with all of my quirks, with all of my presence? What is the mystery of my presence? And also, it's the other equally the meditation is, how do I remain on my throne? And part of that is knowing what your boundaries are. Part of that is knowing that anything that's taking you outside of who you are diminishing your power, or diminishing your knowing of yourself, is not the thing that's going to keep you on the throne. You actually have to remain on that by knowing who you are, knowing your own divinity. Notice she also comes before the Hierophant. So the first card we're talking about, we're going to talk about the Hierophant a little bit in a few weeks. But she's the first divine figure that you see in the tarot deck. She's the first divine figure. And also, some people could say that she's the Virgin Mary, if you wanted to go that route. And the Virgin Mary, she is, and I think I mentioned something to this effect in another video, but I think if you guys watch my Virgo, I think is the Virgo new moon video, I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, if you guys watch that, remember I was talking about sort of the Virgin waits for union. The Virgin waits for union with the divine, with her sacred counterpart. And so the reason why she doesn't come off her throne is because she has work to do. She has work to do as being the wisdom of God. She has work to do. And she's almost like, if you look at her, she's almost not that she's not human. It speaks to the inner mystery, the inner divine mystery of the feminine counterpart to the divine. It speaks to that inner mystery. And so, and when let me kind of like break it down. When I say mystery, I mean the undefinable and unknowable until you find it. It's the undefinable and unknowable until you know it. And that exists within symbolism, that exists within, within concepts and things like that. That's one of those things that you can't necessarily just, you can't look at this card and just be like, yeah, well, of course it just means, that I do this. No, there's a lot that goes to it. There's a lot of symbolism happening here. There's a lot to meditate on, when it comes to her. There's a sacredness. You have to, when it comes to people, in certain religions or certain belief systems and things like that, those are ways, doorways of which people meditate on the divine, meditate on the universe, meditate on God, meditate on the great, as Native Americans used to call it a long time ago, meditate on the great mystery. Once you give a name to something, you have to define it. So sometimes it's better for you to see these things, see this symbolism, and regard it more so as a great mystery and something that is to be discovered and opened up within oneself. And so, I encourage you to really look at the things that look at what your divine space looks like. What does your divine space look like? I know that a lot of us seem to be really disconnected from the feminine divine aspect due to the fact that there isn't as much talk about that. And I feel like your more modern traditions and beliefs. But in knowing that, you truly know gnosis. In knowing that, you truly know wisdom. And really meditating upon her, you truly know wisdom. And so, I think I was talking about Mary, the Virgin, the idea of the Virgin, and the Virgin, like I said, that waits for union with the divine counterpart, with divine source, with God, etc. Not to be a nerd, but, back in the day, the blood that was given from women, during like sacrificial rituals, like back in the day, Hopefully don't do it now, but I don't know. I don't know everything. But like when there was like, blood rituals that had to happen, there was this thing where it was seen that the women's sacrifice was pure because she was able to bring life with her blood sacrifice, whereas a man would actually have to, to unalive something for it, And so there's a lot of mysteries anyway, my point is there's a lot of mysteries to be held within this and learning how to sit within your high priestess energy. But a part of that is doing a lot of deconstructing of the ideas you have around yourself and who you are, especially in the modern day, with the rise of, and this isn't bashing any of those systems, but with the rise of, sort of the social dating sites or the rise of like the you make money through things like, the OnlyFans and things like that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. And so I'm not putting that out there. But what I am saying is if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what your divine feminine mystery looks like, if you don't know what it means to sit upon your throne with your boundaries in place and allowing people and things like that to sort of like come to you and meet you instead of you emotionally, mentally, physically having to always be the one to sort of put forth, then you're missing a part of the point, when it comes to your own divine self. Because she doesn't come off the throne for nobody. She doesn't come off the throne for nobody. And it seems like, again, with the rise of social media too, it's like the thing, there's nothing that's able to be held sacred anymore. And essentially the mystery of the divine is also around the mystery of what you hold sacred, what you hold beautiful, where your strength comes from, where you're, just like phenomenal woman, what makes you that phenomenal woman? It's that thing. It's that certain je ne sais quoi that is a part of the mystery that only you can know, but you have to I encourage you, you have to find a way, and maybe you can meditate on this card, but find a way to reconnect with that. You have to reconnect with that because we've lost the connection with the sacred and divine feminine. People just get in relationships with anybody instead of getting relationships with the divine counterpart, and figuring out what that means for them. Nobody can tell you what that means because that's also a part, all of these things are based in that, mystery. And so, it's like if you don't know what that is, it's really hard to be pulled into abstraction in regards to who you are, in regards to that feminine part of yourself, in regards to, why you should be held sacred, how you should hold yourself sacred. And holding yourself sacred doesn't mean celibacy. Doesn't mean celibacy. It doesn't mean any abstinence, or doesn't mean any of those things. That's not what holding yourself sacred means. Holding yourself sacred is knowing who you are, knowing what your boundaries are, knowing what makes you feel like you're coming off of your throne, knowing also what makes you beautiful, knowing also, what are my sources of strength, knowing that your environment has to fit that. So, yeah, that's that's the Sunday service for this week. I hope that is informative, helpful, that you guys got a lot out of that. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. I can't remember which card is next. But I will see you guys next week for Sunday service. And again, just this week, I want you to really consider what is the mystery of my divine feminine, whatever that looks like for you. Like I said, it could be, Holy Sophia is the wisdom of God. You have the Virgin Mary, which is considered, the divine, counterpart in a sort of way, but you want to see it as your sacred feminine also being equal to whatever that vision of consciousness, of God consciousness or universal consciousness or whatever. You want to make that equal within yourself. That's kind of a key to the mysteries. You want to make that equal to the other ideas that you had, as far as like, oh well, God's just masculine. Well, then where's the feminine in that? And without the masculine, without the feminine, there's never been a masculine. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. Ramble over. I'll see you guys next week.